Good afternoon, this is STV, and we're off to the seaside with David and the dealers at 2 for Dickinson's Real Deal. But now it's time for all of the latest lunchtime news.
Will England get their way at Wembley? It is nearly time they face Denmark at 8.
We can talk as much as we want now. It's about going out there and doing it on the pitch.
We're live in Denmark, where fans there are hopeful it'll be their team taking on Italy in the final. Also ahead, a summer of chaos and confusion. The Prime Minister is criticised over fears millions of Brits will have to isolate before the new rules come in. And the Neil Diamond classic that's become an England anthem thanks to the Wembley DJ.
As a lifelong football fan, I was never any good at it myself at playing, but to actually be at Wembley with 2 left feet, it's an honour. It's by far the biggest gig I've ever done.
From Wembley, this is the ITV Lunchtime News with Nina Hossain.
Good afternoon from Wembley, where one thing is certain: we are in for a memorable night. Will it be the first time in 55 years that England men's reach a major final, or the second time in...
Now, even some of England's newest fans believe their team has what it takes to go all the way and reach the Euros 2020 finals.
It's really good to see that our team's got better during the tournament.
Most of us enjoy watching it. My younger sister doesn't really enjoy it though.
England haven't lost a match or conceded a goal so far in the tournament. And after a slow start to the Euros, England's captain Harry Kane finally showed the world what he had to offer. He says he'll do that again tonight to avoid history repeating itself after England dropped out of the World Cup semi-finals against Russia in 2018.
We need to show as a group that we can go one step further than what we did in Russia. Obviously we're in a good place at the moment, but it can all be taken away so quickly. But of course we can talk as much as we want now. It's about going out there and doing it on the pitch.
If England win tonight, they'll face Italy in the final, the first time they've been within touching distance of a trophy in more than half a century. Many, though, will hope England's game against Denmark doesn't come to the same end Italy's did against Spain last night.
Oh, how about that?
If it does, some Dutch courage will no doubt be needed. England fans are expected to get through nearly 10 million pints tonight, with pubs making mini fan zones to bring everyone together. At the stadium, though, more than 60,000 fans will be allowed to watch England play on home soil, with capacity increased here for the final 3 games of the tournament. These 3 friends could only buy their semi-final tickets before they knew England would play. £530 later, they say the experience will be priceless.
Yes, come on!
I think it's just, like we all said, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We don't know if this will ever happen again. Especially with England. So, yeah, it's just one chance to go to Wembley and see a semi-final.
We are Danish Dynamite.
But they face a team and fans with unshakable spirit, already preparing for the match at this Danish bar in London. Denmark had one of the worst starts possible with Christian Eriksen's collapse during their first game. Now their fans say tonight is about more than football.
Really is keeping people together. For my family, at least, we have a family group chat, and we've all been sitting at the same time watching the game, so it's that sense of actually having a connection to your family.
It's very special. It feels like a duty, and it's the most special moment in my life. You don't get an opportunity like this ever again.
It's a game that will no doubt make the nation stop as fans brace themselves to face Denmark in a match that, in years to come, may be the one everyone remembers, hopefully for all the right reasons. Sangeeta Lal, ITV News.
Where will you be watching the game? Richard Pallow joins us now from one of the most decorated streets in England. Richard.
Yes, you would struggle to find anyone or anywhere more patriotic than Toefield Court here in Middlesex on the outskirts of London. We've got some youngsters trying to be the next Raheem Sterling or Harry Kane over here. We have China, her niece Dolly and Jade, and if you pop over the top, 6 English bulldogs enjoying a pre-match snack. Now China, it was your idea, all of this.
Yeah.
Tell me how it happened.
So I just went to Sainsbury's and I bought a 90p flag, and then we all just got a bit carried away, and now I think there's over 200 flags up now, and it's just brought everyone together. It's so lovely.
And you've got people singing the songs, beeping the horns.
Since 7 o'clock this morning, every morning really, morning, noon and night, everyone comes and bibs and sings. It is lovely.
Isn't it get annoying yet?
No, because it is going to come home.
On Sunday?
On Sunday, yeah. 100%.
Jade, you've got 6 bulldogs. These must be good mascots for tonight.
They are. They definitely are. They're ready for tonight's game.
Tonight, what's their pre-match meal there?
They have a duck's foot.
Oh, not exactly the food of champions.
Chicks are nice and strong.
And have you got anyone named after any of the squad?
Unfortunately, we haven't, no. We've got some unusual names though. We've got Bruno, Enzo, Coco, Callie, Nala's over here, and Vogue.
Now, if one of them has a new baby, please tell me you'll call it Gareth if we win.
We will.
Gareth the Bulldog.
We will, 100%.
You've got something for Bruno to wear as well for tonight?
I have. I've got his England shirt.
Well, put it on.
Okay, fine.
This should bring England good luck in theory. Bruno's getting dressed there, you can see, just a few hours ahead of the players at Wembley. And if anything's to go by from down here, there should be plenty of good luck tonight in North London rather than here in the West.
Richard, thank you. Gareth the Bulldog, I love it. What will England's players be thinking right now? Never mind the manager. Well, one person who really knows is the former England international Danny Welbeck. He played for England in the 2018 World Cup. Now, many of his teammates are preparing for their second semi-final in just 3 years. I spoke to him just before we came on air and asked him what he thought the likes of Harry Kane and Raheem Sterling will be thinking so close to what could be a life-changing match.
Yeah, well, it's one of them, it's a moment today that they can obviously make history for the country, and it's one that they'll all be looking forward to. I bet they've dreamt of it all their lives, and it's a moment, it's a very special moment tonight, and one where I think they'll be looking to make their mark in the game.
10 of the players who were with you in the 2018 World Cup squad are still playing for England. That experience of playing in a semi could really help them tonight, couldn't it?
Yeah, definitely to have that experience, you know, being in them moments before and, you know, being in this sort of environment going into a semi-final tonight. They've got that experience, the very talented bunch of players and, you know, the great people as well. So I'm sure they'll be really looking forward to it, but they'll be keeping a level head, keeping focused, making sure that they're right for the game, tactically, mentally and physically also. So they can also pass on that experience onto the younger members of the squad who haven't been in that situation before.
Yeah, and key to that is Gareth Southgate, a man who is composed, quietly confident, understated, serious, empathetic. He really deserves this, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, I think he's proven with his team selection and going into different games, his different tactics, making sure he's applying the right players for each match. He's very meticulous with his thinking, and you know, to create that sort of camaraderie around the group and in the environment, and creating that sort of, you know, feel good, relaxed but chilled and focused sort of mentality within the squad. He's done very, very well, and I'm sure the country's right behind him and the whole of the England squad tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. What about neutrals though? They might be supporting Denmark tonight, especially given how Denmark's tournament started with the collapse of Christian Eriksen. But that won't impact England, will it? Especially here at Wembley, especially with so many home fans who are going to be able to make it to the match.
Yeah, well, it's great, you know, to obviously have the semi-final at Wembley tonight. It's home for us, and it's one that I'm sure the whole country everyone's looking forward to. Obviously, with Denmark and the way the tournament started, it was a very emotional time, not just for Denmark but for the whole of the world, the whole of footballing world watching. And yeah, it was very, very difficult to see. But Denmark they've played well. They've come back and, you know, put in some great performances, and it's been nice to watch. It's been nice to see that how they've got behind their team, and their whole country have got behind the players and the staff, and yeah, it's been emotional. But I think with England, with the team and the players, we know that we're here to do a job. Everybody's going to be focused. We're professionals at the end of the day, and we've got to try and just focus on the game. You know, the occasion's obviously a massive one, but trying to kind of put aside what's happened with Denmark in the past, and obviously there's a lot of players that are close with Christian Eriksen, so they will be emotional. But come 8 o'clock when the game starts, I'm sure everybody will be willing to win that game.
And come 8 o'clock, where will you be? Where are you going to watch the match tonight? You must be gutted that you're not still part of that squad, and it wasn't, you know, you could go back in time and still be there. Yeah,
well, I'm in Brighton now, so I'll probably be watching it at home. Maybe I might watch it with a couple of my mates, so we'll see. I've not actually decided where and where yet, but I'll have my feet up on the sofa, relaxing, chilling. I'm rooting the boys along.
So if anyone wants to watch the match with Danny Welbeck, give them a call. Quick score prediction from you, Danny?
I'm quietly confident. I've got a lot of trust in the boys tonight, so yeah, I'm going for an England win.
Everything is crossed. Danny Welbeck, thank you so much. Enjoy the match if you can. Danny, thank you.
Thank you, Nina. Thank you. Cheers.
It goes without saying, of course, then it is also a very big night for Denmark too. Our correspondent Vincent is in the capital, Copenhagen, for us this lunchtime. What a tournament it has been so far for the Danes.
Of course, Nina, and its defining moment was that cardiac arrest that Christian Eriksen suffered and survived, and which made this tournament so much more than just a sporting competition for Denmark fans. Here in Copenhagen, there are Denmark shirts everywhere with Eriksen written on the back, even though, of course, he hasn't featured since that opening game. People here hold the national team very close to their heart. There's a real sense that they embody traditional Danish values like solidarity and togetherness and teamwork. And the fans that I spoke to this morning over there in the fans' park behind me are looking forward to progressing to another final.
I will support also England because you have very good players, Kane and Rashford and so on. So it's the most important. It's going to be a good match and let the best team win.
Danish team just more exciting, I think, yeah.
Who's going to win this evening?
Obviously Denmark.
Why is this obvious?
Well, Denmark have had like a tough rough over here, but I think that they play really good and
they have some amazing players.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing coach.
You're talking about England?
England have amazing players as well, obviously, but I think Denmark will win tonight.
And given all the emotion that surrounded Denmark in this tournament, it's easy to forget just how good the Danes are at playing football. They're a country of just under 6 million people. They've won the Euros once. Here they are in another semi-final. They beat England at Wembley last year, 1-0. And in this tournament so far, they've shown real strength in defence and real quality going forward. It might be a terrible disappointment, but don't be surprised if they're partying here later on, Nina.
Yeah, not long to wait now. Gareth and Vincent, thank you. Well, England go into tonight's clash with Denmark, the only team not to let in a single goal. Our sports editor Steve Scott joins me now. What a record, what a team, what a performance so far. But this is football. Anything can happen here at Wembley tonight.
You're absolutely right. It is football and anything could happen. It's going to be a great occasion. We know that. We can at least guarantee that. And a great opportunity for both teams. But if you were an England fan, or you were Gareth Southgate before this tournament, and you were asked to concoct perhaps the perfect path to the final, you'd say, well, I want to be in a semi-final that's at home. I want to play in front of 60,000 home fans. And I also want to go through the tournament perhaps being unbeaten and not conceding a goal. Well, they've done all that. The flip side, of course, is because they've done all that, they haven't yet in this tournament faced adversity, really. They haven't lost a key player through injury. They haven't had somebody sent off. So they haven't been tested in that way. And the question is, if that happens tonight, or if and when it happens tonight, how will they cope? They say they go through all these scenarios in training, but when it happens on the big stage, that's the real test. As Geraint was just reflecting, Denmark are actually ranked higher than Germany in the world rankings. Everyone was celebrating and thinking, well, if England beat Germany, they're through to the final. Denmark are ranked higher than them, and as Geraint reflected as well, the last time they met competitively was here, and England lost 1-0. Christian Eriksen, by the way, scored the goal, and they've been galvanised by the whole Eriksen thing. So you're right, to go back to your original question, this is football. About the only thing you can guarantee, whoever you support, your emotions are going to go through the ringer.
Absolutely, and yeah, be careful what you wish for in terms of who you face. Steve Scott, thank you. Have a brilliant, brilliant night. You can watch the match and the build-up here on ITV and STV. Coverage starts at 6:30. On to the day's other news now then, and Labour has accused the Prime Minister of creating a summer of chaos and confusion. Sir Keir Starmer says the government's plan to allow double jab people to escape isolation from August will lead to millions of contacts quarantining until then if COVID cases continue to rise. Boris Johnson defended his approach. Here's our political correspondent, Libby Wiener.
With infections predicted to reach 100,000 a day, the government faces growing questions over its plans to lift most restrictions within 2 weeks. If the Prime Minister is having second thoughts, he wasn't saying as he headed to the Commons, instead claiming the link between infections and deaths had been broken.
Scientists are also absolutely clear that we have severed the link between infection and serious disease and death. And currently there are only a 30th of the deaths that we were seeing at an equivalent position in previous waves of this pandemic.
Mr. Speaker, let's be clear why infection rates are so high. Because the Prime Minister let the Delta, or we can call it the Johnson variant, into the country. And let's be clear why the number of cases will surge so quickly, because he is taking all protections off in one go. That is reckless.
The Labour leader also suggested that if millions were having to self-isolate, it wouldn't feel like Freedom Day at all.
Isn't it the case that once again, instead of a careful, controlled approach, we're heading for a summer of chaos and confusion?
After some deliberation, the Prime Minister said we weren't.
No, Mr. Speaker, is the answer to that. These are difficult decisions. They need to be taken in a balanced way. If we'd followed his advice, we would still be in the European Medicines Agency, and we would never have rolled out the vaccine.
Earlier, his business secretary hinted a delay was still possible when the decision is made over which restrictions to lift.
It'll be on Monday that we make that final decision, and it could go. I strongly suspect that we will open on the 19th of July, but there is a possibility, as you say, that there might be a delay. But I think that possibility is very, very, very low.
Opening up travel further is seen as a particularly high risk by some scientists who fear it could cause another surge in COVID cases. How the numbers change in the next few days could be crucial as to what the government decides. Libby Wiener, ITV News, Westminster.
The president of Haiti has been assassinated by a group of armed men who also seriously injured his wife. Jovenel Moïse was killed in the attack at his home, according to a statement from the country's interim prime minister, who called the killing a hateful, inhumane and barbaric act. The First Lady was shot and is in hospital. finally, let's return to the football and one of the key tunes on the terraces. How a Neil Diamond classic became one of England's Euros anthems after that incredible win over Germany here at Wembley. Joshua Stokes on how everyone's now singing Sweet Caroline.
Enjoying sweet victory to Sweet Caroline. A roaring atmosphere after beating Germany. Largely created by this DJ.
Before the tournament we were asked what tracks did we want to have in our playlists, and I thought Sweet Caroline might be something that could get a great reaction from the crowd. We played it earlier on in the Germany-England game and both sets of fans were reacting so amazingly well. And while Sweet Caroline has been used by many teams, many nations, many great sports even, for that moment I just think it was the right track to play to keep the atmosphere where it was.
It's a song that has stunned the players.
Special. I'm speechless, I don't know what to say. Amazing day.
And gained the approval of the manager.
I mean, you can't beat a bit of Sweet Caroline, can you? That's a belter, really.
And on tonight's playlist, much of the same.
I think anthems grow and they don't start a tournament with the intention of becoming a theme song. But if Sweet Caroline is what the school kids are singing and everyone's singing in the pub, then let's give it to them again if England do get to the final. I've got to say, as a lifelong football fan, I was never any good at it myself at playing, but to actually be at Wembley with 2 left feet, it's an honour. It's by far the biggest gig I've ever done.
An atmosphere like no other, with fans ready to do it all again for another night of football fever. Joshua Stokes, ITV News.
That's all from Wembley for now. Lucrezia's here at 6:15, just before the football. Enjoy it if you can. Bye-bye.